He couldn't believe he did that, and tried to unfriend her many times, but always stopped himself. Donnie thought Martha was unwell and misunderstood. She started commenting on all his photos, even the old ones. She then said their date was romantic and asked if they were officially a couple, wondering if he was seeing someone else. Donnie ignored her and logged off. Donnie went on a date with Terry, and they talked about their lives. He explains that he met Terry on a trans dating website, where he used the name Tony and disguised himself. He didn't expect to fall in love, but Terry was smart, strong, and funny. Donnie was worried about running into someone he knew from the pub or his comedy group and didn't want anyone to know he was dating a trans woman, so he chose a dim cocktail bar on the edge of town for their dates. He always intended to tell her about his real name, but the more he felt for her, the more he kept putting it off. Some time later, Martha went to Donnie's workplace and asked who he was texting and if it was Keely. Donnie says Keely is just an old friend. That night, he couldn't sleep, worried Martha might find out about Terry, because he promised himself to keep them apart. He decided to tell Terry everything. He showed Terry Martha's texts, and she thought Martha was clearly unwell. Terry asked why Martha called him Donnie. He says she calls her all sort of names. Donnie promised to put a stop to it, and Terry said if he didn't, she would visit Martha herself. When Donnie arrived late at the pub, Martha called out to him. He served her a Coke and made her pay for it, but she started crying. Donnie comforted her and mentioned their age difference, saying he would want kids one day. Martha replied that the world only takes from people before leaving. That night, she flooded his inbox with inappropriate emails trying to prove her fertility. After that, she would show up at the pub every morning and follow Donnie around, talking non-stop about their future together. She even had tickets to his semi-final competition. Donnie asked the pub manager, Greg, to bar Martha, but Greg said no. He and Gino thought Donnie needed her for his shows as his last show was hit because of her, and banning someone needed proof. Donnie shows them his phone to see Martha's emails and use them as evidence to bar her. Gino sends an inappropriate email to Martha from Donnie's phone as a joke. This upsets Donnie very much. He then calls Jason to see if he could change the date of his semi-final, and Jason agrees. Later, he went to the club to meet Terry, and they danced together. Terry looked up Martha online and discovered she had been to jail before. She suspected that Donnie was keeping Martha around because of what she offered him. When he returned, he found Martha waiting for him. She is upset with his behavior, saying she never took no for an answer, but she might make concessions for him. She claimed that men who didn't fancy her were blind. She asked him to stop pushing her away and offered to help him deal with the man who hurt him. Donnie decided to leave, but she followed him. Then, she pushed him against the wall and touches him.